give it just a couple more. Want to see if everyone can go ahead and try to give me an answer.
Mom, where are you going to buy King Helios?
Okay, all right. So the answer is there will be a comma. A comma. Very good, you guys. And the comma is going to go right over here in between night and the. Okay, because there's a pause. There's a pause, okay? So it's going to look like this. On a cold winter night,
and it has
comma,
cardboard,
the snow began to fall. Okay, and I put it in the chat so everyone can see. On a cold winter night, comma, the snow began to fall. So, great job, you guys. Okay, now, the next sentence.
Well, that's yours.
How much would it snow? What's missing from this sentence? How much would it snow? Okay, what punctuation do we need in this sentence to complete it? How much would it snow? It could be a comma, a period, a question mark, an exclamation mark, or an apostrophe. How much would it snow? Okay, I'm getting great answers already.
You should have a good review. It's just $1. Is that?
Perfect. I'll give it just a bit more.
$10.
Shh, guys. I'm recording.
Okay, just a little bit more.
Next Monday.
Okay, yes, most of you guys got that one. That was pretty straightforward. How much would it snow ends with a question mark. Okay, it ends with a question mark. So it would look like this. Okay, great job, you guys. All right, the next one. It did not take long before the snow covered everything. What are we missing here? What are we missing here? It did not take long before the snow covered everything. What are we missing here? I'll give it a couple more. It did not take long before the snow covered everything. What are we missing here? Okay, I'm going to give it just 30 more seconds. Okay, it did not take long before the snow covered everything. What punctuation are we missing here? Okay, all right. So the answer is a period. The answer is a period, okay? So the period would go at the end of this sentence here, okay? We would want it to look like this, okay? So great job, everyone. This would not be an exclamation mark because this isn't necessarily an excited sentence. It's just a statement, okay? Now, this next one. This one, we're actually missing two types of punctuation, okay? The next morning, we woke up to a winter wonderland. The next morning, we woke up to a winter wonderland. Here we need two punctuation. Okay, we're missing two types of punctuation. We're missing two types of punctuation. I'll say the sentence again. The next morning, we woke up to a winter wonderland. Okay, I'm getting great answers already, okay? Remember, this one, we need two types of punctuation, okay? Two types of punctuation. Great job, you guys. Keep those answers coming. Okay, the next morning, we woke up to a winter wonderland. I'll give it a little bit more because this one's a little trickier, okay? Okay. All right. So the first part is there's a comma after the word morning. Okay, so the next morning, comma, we woke up to a winter wonderland. Okay, so the way I said it, we could have an exclamation mark at the end, but I would also accept a period at the end because this might be just a regular thing if you want. Okay, so it could be either a period or an exclamation mark. Okay, it could be a period or an exclamation mark. So it could look like this, or it could look like this, okay? So this one can have both, okay? Great job, you guys. All right, now, this next one, okay? This one also has two. Schools were closed, and we ended up having an amazing snow day. Schools were closed, and we ended up having an amazing snow day. Okay, so there are two punctuations missing here, okay? There are two punctuation marks missing here. So go ahead and see, okay? Schools were closed, and we ended up having an amazing snow day. Perfect. I'm seeing great answers already, okay? Schools were closed, and we ended up having an amazing snow day. Remember, this sentence is a little bit excited, okay? Great job, you guys. I'm getting great answers. I'm gonna give it just a minute more. Remember, we're missing two types of punctuation marks. Missing two. Very good. I'm seeing great answers, you guys. Okay. Remember, we're missing two, not just one, okay? Schools were closed, and we ended up having an amazing snow day. Schools were closed, and we ended up having an amazing snow day. Let's give it a couple more seconds. Okay. All right. So a lot of you guys got great answers. Okay. So the answer was we are missing a comma and an exclamation mark. Okay. This one is a clear exclamation mark because they are excited. It was an amazing day. Okay. So it's an excitement. So it's going to look like this. Schools were closed, comma, and we ended up having an amazing snow day. Okay. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay, great job, you guys. That was good punctuation identification. Okay, now we're going to do one that's similar, but a little bit different because it's not going to be in a story. Okay, it's not going to be in a story. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit different. Okay, all right. This one is going to be about a fishing trip. Okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen. It's similar, but this one's going to be a little bit more punctuation, okay? And this time, we're not going to see the box at the top, okay? So I want you guys to tell me which ones, okay? So the first sentence. Last summer, my grandpa took me fishing. Okay, we're missing two punctuation marks here. Last summer, my grandpa took me fishing. Last summer, my grandpa took me fishing. This is just a statement, okay? So, we're missing two things. Last summer, my grandpa took me fishing. Okay, I'll give it just a little bit more. Okay, we're missing 2 punctuation. Okay, a lot of you guys were able to catch it right off the bat. Great job. Okay, so a lot of you guys thought it was just 1, but it's 2. Okay, it's last summer, comma, my grandpa took me fishing, period. Okay, so it's going to look like this. I just sent it in the chat. Okay, last summer, comma, my grandpa took me fishing, period. Okay, great job, you guys. Next, he gave me one of his fishing poles, and we walked to the lake to catch some fish. Okay, this one is also missing 2. Okay, he gave me one of his fishing poles, and we walked to the lake to catch some fish. Okay, we're missing 2 here. Okay, this is very similar to the other sentence. Okay, he gave me one of his fishing poles, and we walked to the lake to catch some fish. We're missing 2 types of punctuation. Okay, I'm getting great answers, you guys. Okay, great job. I'm going to wait for just a little bit longer. Okay, a lot of you guys are getting one or the other, but try to see if you can find both, okay? Okay, I'll give it 30 more seconds. Okay, all right, so this was exactly like the other one, a comma and a period, okay? This one is going to look like this. He gave me one of his fishing poles, comma, and we walked to the lake to catch some fish. Okay, so I put it in the chat. So it's going to look like that. Okay, a comma after poles and a period after fish. Okay, great job, you guys. All right, this next one. How do you catch fish? Okay, this one is missing 1 punctuation mark. How do you catch fish? Okay, what are we missing here? What are we missing here? How do you catch fish? Okay, I'm getting great answers already. Okay, I'll give it just a little bit more. A lot of you guys got this one right off the bat. How do you catch fish? How do you catch fish? Okay, I'll give it just a little bit more. Some people's answers are still coming in. How do you catch fish? What are we missing? Okay, so a lot of you guys got the correct answer. We are missing a question mark. We are missing a question mark. Okay, so it's going to look like this with a question mark after the word fish. Okay, great job. This sentence actually does not have any punctuation errors. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. All right. Now, in this one, we are missing 2 punctuation marks once again. After a few tries, a big fish took the bait. After a few tries, a big fish took the bait. Okay, so we're missing 2 punctuation marks here. 2 punctuation marks. After a few tries, a big fish took the bait. Okay, we're missing 2 types of punctuation marks. This is all one sentence, okay? After a few tries, a big fish took the bait. And there's 1 or 2 correct answers here, okay? So I'll let you guys know what it is. But there are 2 punctuation marks. Okay. All right. So, great job, you guys. So, the first punctuation mark that was missing is a comma. Okay. That one was, there's only one answer for that. It's after a few tries, comma. But then it's a big fish took the bait. Okay. So, it could be a big fish took the bait, period. Or it could be a big fish took the bait, exclamation mark. It just depends on how excited you think he feels about a big fish taking the bait. Okay. Great job, you guys. Now, this one is missing one punctuation mark, okay? This was my first fish ever. This was my first fish ever, okay? So, what are we missing there? What are we missing? This was my first fish ever. What are we missing here? Okay? This was my first fish ever. Okay? I'm going to wait for a little bit. I want everyone to try and take a stab at this, okay? This was my first fish ever. Okay? I'll give it a little bit more. What punctuation is a part of this was my first fish ever? Okay, I'm getting great answers, you guys. Okay, all right, so the correct answer is an exclamation mark at the end. An exclamation mark at the end, okay? So it's going to look something like this, okay? This was my first fish ever. Exclamation mark, okay? Great job. Now, this last one is a little bit tricky, okay? Okay, remember, this sentence says, I couldn't stop smiling. We're missing a little different type of punctuation mark here, okay? A little different type of punctuation mark. I couldn't stop smiling. Okay? We're not changing the words. The words are going to be the exact same, but we're actually missing a punctuation mark. Remember, we're not changing the sentence, okay? We're just adding some punctuation. We already have a period at the end of the sentence, okay? We already have a period at the end of the sentence. So we don't need to change that. Okay? We don't need to change the end of the sentence. I couldn't stop smiling. You guys are doing great. I'm going to give it just a little bit more. Okay? Just a little bit more. Remember, there's already a period at the end of this sentence, okay? Okay, so this one is a little tricky. This one, we're actually missing an apostrophe. An apostrophe, okay? So we're going to add an apostrophe right in between the N and the T of couldn't, okay? And the reason we do that is because it's something called a contraction. It's something called a contraction. We will be going over contractions soon, but this is what it would look like, okay? You'd add an apostrophe between the N and the T, okay, to show that it's a combination. It's called a contraction, okay? All right. A contraction is basically a combination of two words. Couldn't is actually a combination of could not, okay? But instead of it becoming a compound word, it's becoming a contraction where you remove a letter of something else and you put an apostrophe there instead, okay? So could not becomes couldn't, okay? It's going to look like this, okay? It's called a contraction. That's how it's spelled, a contraction. Okay, now, the final sentence. I had a great time with Grandpa. I had a great time with Grandpa. Okay? I had a great time with Grandpa. There's two correct answers here, okay? Okay, I had a great time with, excuse me, I had a great time with Grandpa. I had a great time with Grandpa. Okay, so that is correct. A lot of you guys had the right idea. Okay, so it's either a period or an exclamation mark. Okay, you could be excited about it or you could just be making a statement. Okay, so I had a great time with Grandpa, period, or I had a great time with Grandpa, exclamation mark. Okay, perfect. You guys did wonderfully. Thank you so much for participating. All right, now the next thing that we are going to do, is we are going to read a story, okay? We are going to read a story, and then I'm going to ask you guys some questions about it, okay? So, once again, I will be sharing my screen, okay? I'm going to read this story out loud, and I would love for you guys to be following along because I'm going to be asking you all some questions, okay? All right, this one is called Guitar or Ballet. Emma loves to listen to her brother Jake play his guitar. He is 15 years old and has been playing since he was 5 years old. He practices every day and he is really good. He plays country music and rock and roll. Emma likes the country songs best. She really likes watching Jake strum the chords and hearing the country sounds that he creates. Emma wants to take lessons so she can play as well as Jake does. Mom, can I take guitar lessons? Emma asks. Her mom replies, it takes a lot of hard work to play the songs that Jake plays. Are you sure you have enough time to put into practicing? Thinking about all of her favorite activities, Emma isn't sure. She loves her ballet classes, her art classes, and her chess club. Emma realizes that if she wants to play guitar, she will probably have to give up another activity to make time for practicing. She does not know which activity she would give up because they all mean so much to her. Emma decides that she will just keep enjoying her brother's guitar for now. Okay, so that was our story. All right, it's about Emma and how she's deciding whether she wants to learn to play guitar and if she has time to play guitar. Okay, now I'm going to ask you guys some questions. How old was Jake when he started playing the guitar? How old was Jake when he started playing the guitar? Okay, I'm going to wait for a lot of people to answer. How old was Jake when he started playing the guitar? How old was Jake when he started to play the guitar? Okay, getting great answers from you guys. Okay, all right. He was 5 years old. Perfect job, you guys. He was 5 years old. Now, how long has Jake been playing the guitar? So if he started at 5 and he ended at a certain age, how long has he been playing? Some of you guys already answered that last time, okay? But how many years has Jake been playing the guitar? Again, great answers. Good job, you guys. I'll give it just a little bit more. Okay, great work. Okay, he's been playing for 10 years because he started when he was 5 years old and he is now 15. Okay, so 15 minus 5, so that's 10 years. Okay, now what type of music does Emma like best? What type of music does Emma like best? What type of music does Emma like best? This one's a little trickier, so give it your best try, okay? music does Emma like best? Okay, I'm getting great answers. And again, it's totally okay if you're not sure. We're just here to learn and practice, okay? So give it your best try. What type of music does Emma like best? Okay, so I got a lot of the correct answers. She does like country music the best, okay? Some of you guys said rock and roll. Rock and roll is one of the types of music that Jake plays, but Emma's favorite is country, okay? All right, now, what does Emma ask her mom in the story? What does Emma ask her mom in the story? Let's see. What does Emma ask her mom? Okay, give it your best try. Good answers, you guys. What does Emma ask her mom? Okay, I'm going to give it just a little bit more. I see some people answering. Okay. What does Emma ask her mom? Let me give it a little bit more. Okay. Yes, correct. The answer is she asked her mom if she can take guitar lessons, if she can play the guitar. Okay, great work. And finally, the last answer is, what activities is Emma involved in? What activities is Emma involved in? What activities is Emma already involved in? What activities is she already involved in? I'll give you guys a hint, okay? There are 3 activities she's involved in. 3 activities she is involved in. And this does not include the guitar, okay? But she isn't involved in guitar. Okay, I'll give this one a little bit because I know this one is a little bit confusing. Give it your best try, okay? You guys are doing great, okay? I'm going to give this just 30 more seconds, okay? So go ahead and try and get your attempt to answer in, okay? Okay, so the answer is she did art, she did ballet, and she did chess, okay? Art, ballet, and chess, okay? Thank you to everyone who responded. Okay, great job, you guys. It was art, chess, and ballet. She was a busy, busy person, okay? All right, now, that's it for our story here, okay? But we are going to practice a little bit more of what we did yesterday, okay? Trying to find some verbs this time, okay? So I'm going to share my screen again. And from the story we read, we are going to find the verbs in this paragraph, okay? So in this paragraph, right up here, okay? What are some verbs present? What are some verbs here? There are a couple verbs here, okay? Let's see if everyone can remember what verbs are and if everyone can tell me what some verbs are in this paragraph. The paragraph is, Emma loves to listen to her brother Jake play his guitar. He is 15 years old and has been playing since he was 5 years old. He practices every day and he is really good. He plays country music and rock and roll. Now, just as a refresher, a verb is an action word, okay? A verb is when you're doing something, okay? A verb is an action word, okay? So let's see what verbs we can find in this highlighted sentence here, in this highlighted paragraph. Okay, verbs. Okay, verbs, remember, are actions. Okay, they're actions. Like swim, talk, things like that. Okay? And we're just finding them in the first paragraph. Okay? In the very first paragraph. We are finding verbs in the very first paragraph. Okay, we are finding verbs in the very first paragraph. Remember, verbs are actions. Verbs are actions. Getting great answers, okay? I'm going to give it just a little bit more, because I know this one's a little tough because we just learned about this, okay? Verbs are actions, okay? Give it your best try. Try and guess, what are the action words in this first paragraph? What are the action words? I'm going to give it a little bit more. Perfect. I'm getting really good answers, you guys. Okay, I'll give it about 30 more seconds, okay? Okay. All right. So a lot of people are giving me good answers. Okay, so these are all acceptable answers. Okay, we had listen. Okay, because listening is an action. Okay, play and playing, both correct. Okay, and finally, practices. Okay, practices. Those are all verbs. Okay, so good job, you guys. Now, the second paragraph. Can we try and find a verb here? At least one. There are definitely a couple. But let's try and find a verb, an action word here. Let's try and find an action verb in this sentence, okay? Emma likes the country songs best. Sorry, in this paragraph. Emma likes the country songs best. She really likes watching Jake strum the chords and hearing the country sounds that he creates. Emma wants to take lessons so she can play as well as Jake does. Mom, can I take guitar lessons? Emma asks. Remember, action. Okay, it's something that someone is doing. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit. Okay, so the correct answers here are watching, okay, hearing, creates, creating is doing something, okay, so, and take, okay, also another action, okay, so Great job, you guys. Again, oh yes, I missed one as well. Strum. Strum is a good one because he is actually doing something. Okay? So, great job, you guys. All right. Now, that's it for this story. Okay, so we're going to do one last little lesson. Okay? We are going to learn about a thing called a pronoun. Okay? A thing called a pronoun. Okay, so there are different types of pronouns, okay? But we're going to be learning about personal pronouns, okay? Personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are words that take the place of a noun, okay? So if the noun is he, or if the noun is Sneha, then the pronoun would be she, okay? So I'll give another example, okay? You say, I went to Paris, okay? So Paris is the noun, okay? But then when you say, it was nice there is going to be the pronoun, okay? There is going to be the pronoun because you're replacing the word Paris with the word there. I know that's a little bit confusing, and hopefully this exercise will clear things up, and we will go over this more than once, okay? So, here we go. Here it says a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun, okay? So here's a good example. The teacher is reading a book. It is an interesting one. It is replacing book. Okay, so let's try it with the first sentence and then we can kind of learn as we go. Okay, so the first sentence, take off your boots. They are wet. Now, what word is replacing boots here? What word is replacing boots? Take off your boots. They are wet. What word in these two sentences is replacing the word boots? What is acting as if it is the word boots? Take off your boots. They are wet. It's going to be a word from this sentence. It can't be a word from somewhere else. It has to be from these two sentences. What word is replacing the word boots? Not describing, it's replacing it. Okay, we're not looking for a description word. We're not looking for an adjective, okay? We're looking for a description. We are not looking for a description. We're looking for a replacement. What is replacing the word boots? Okay, a lot of you guys did really well. In this, they is replacing the word boots, okay? And I'll explain why. This first sentence says, take off your boots, okay? Take off your boots. So boots is the noun. Here, we're saying they are wet. How do we know what they is? It's because they is actually what we're using to say boots. We know that we're saying here, they are wet means the boots are wet, okay? But they is replacing the word boots, okay? Let's try it again. This one will just take a little bit of practice. Call Mark after supper. He seemed worried. Now, what here is replacing the word Mark? What is replacing the word Mark? Call Mark after supper. He seemed worried. Remember, in the second sentence, how do we know? How do we know what's replacing Mark? Okay? How do we know what's replacing Mark? How do we know what's replacing Mark? Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit. Okay, I'm going to wait just 30 more seconds. So give it your best try. What is replacing the word Mark? Okay, so a lot of you guys did a great job. The answer is he, okay? He is the pronoun because he is what we are calling Mark, okay? It's the other word, okay, that we're using to refer to Mark, okay? He is the word we are using to refer to Mark, okay? So we know when we say he seemed worried, we know that we're actually saying Mark seemed worried, okay? That's what a pronoun is, okay? It's taking the place of the noun Mark, okay? Now, we're going to do this one. This one's going to be a little trickier. Adam and Carol were playing with the kittens. Then Carol fed them, okay? So what here is replacing the word kittens? What here is replacing the word kittens? Okay, so here, the noun that we're focusing on is kittens. Even though we have Adam and Carol, we're focusing on the noun kittens. So what word is replacing kittens here? Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit. What pronoun is being used instead of kittens? What pronoun is being used instead of kittens when she says, then Carol fed them? Remember, these are words that are in the sentences. We can't bring in any new words, okay? It has to be a word that's already in the sentence. Okay, so the correct answer is that them is replacing the word kittens, okay? When we say then, Carol fed them. We know that them means that Carol is feeding the kittens. We could say then Carol fed the kittens. But if we say then Carol fed them is the pronoun that is replacing the kittens. Okay, now we're going to do something a little different with this next one. Here we have mom and dad went shopping. They bought a new dining set. Here, I want you to tell me what is being replaced. So yes, I want you to tell me the word that is replaced with, but I also want you to tell me what is being replaced. What is being replaced? What are the noun or nouns that are being replaced? So before we just talked about what word is replacing the nouns. Now I want you to tell me both what word is replacing the nouns and what the nouns actually are. What the nouns actually are. What are the nouns that are being replaced here too? Okay, I'm getting great answers, you guys. Okay, what are the nouns that are being replaced and what is replacing the two nouns? Okay, give it your best try. I'm going to wait just a little bit. Okay, all right, so they is the one that's replacing the nouns. Very good. And the nouns are mom and dad, okay? So mom and dad is the noun. A lot of you guys caught that. Great work, okay? And the pronoun is they, okay? Because mom and dad can also be said as they, okay? Here we can say mom and dad bought a new dining set, and that would still make sense. But instead, we're saying they. So they is the pronoun that is replacing mom and dad, okay? Next one, okay? The farmer brought the cows around. Later, he fixed the fence. Okay, so I want you to tell me what the noun is and what the pronoun is. Okay, I want you to tell me both. Okay. Again, you only need to answer one time. We don't need to put the same answer in quite a few times. Okay. So We can have the noun, okay, and the pronoun, or the word that replaces the noun, okay? So go ahead and try that one out. We'll give it a couple times. Okay. So, good job, you guys. Okay. The noun is the farmer. Okay. The farmer is the noun in this situation that we're addressing. Okay. There are more than one noun, but the one that we're talking about is farmer. And the pronoun is he. Okay. Because we're using he to refer to the farmer. If we swapped out he with farmer, that would make sense. If we said later, the farmer fixed the fence, that would make just as much sense as saying later, he fixed the fence. Okay? So, great work, you guys. Okay, we're going to do the next one. Mark and you are presenting tomorrow. You need to be ready. This one's a little tricky, okay? Because there might be a little similarity. So, what is the pronoun and what is the noun, okay? What is the noun and what is the pronoun? What is the noun and what is the pronoun? Okay, what is the noun and what is the pronoun? Okay, give it your best try. I'm going to give it just a little bit. Give it a try, okay? What is the noun and what is the pronoun? Okay, I'm going to give it just a little bit more. Okay, so the noun here is Mark and you. Mark and you are both the nouns, okay? And the pronoun is you, okay? The pronoun is you. Okay, great job, you guys. All right, we're just going to finish this off, okay? The woman crossed the street. Then she entered the store. Here, what is the noun and what is the pronoun? What is the noun and what is the pronoun? Remember, the pronoun is the word that replaces the noun. So, what is the noun and what is the pronoun? Okay, give it your best try. What is the noun and what is the pronoun? You guys are doing great, okay? So keep it going. We're almost done. Okay, remember, we're trying to identify both the noun and the pronoun, okay? Okay, so a lot of you guys got that ready, okay? So the noun is woman, Okay, the noun here is woman, and the pronoun for her is she. Okay, so if we swapped it, said then the woman entered the store, this would make a lot of sense. Okay, so instead we're replacing the woman with she. Okay, great job, you guys. All right, the next one. The children finished their dessert. It was good. The children finished their dessert. It was good. What is the noun here? And what is the pronoun? Remember, what is the noun? And what is the word that's replacing it? What is the word that's replacing it? We're doing question 8. We're doing the children finished their dessert. It was good. Okay? And we're saying which one is the noun and which one is the pronoun. Okay? Which one is the noun? Which one is the noun? Which one is the pronoun? I'll give this one a little bit. Okay, I'll give it just a little bit more. Okay, so the answer is the noun was dessert and the pronoun is it. Okay, because it is the dessert. So you're saying if you replace it with dessert or the dessert, you could say their dessert was good and it would still make sense. Okay, all right, let's do these last two. Okay, all right. His sister put the blankets on the bed. They were soft and warm. So here, what is the noun and what is the pronoun in this sentence? What is the noun and what is the pronoun? What is the noun? What is the pronoun? Okay, what is the noun? What is the pronoun? Okay, remember, the pronoun is the word that replaces the noun, okay? That replaces the noun. Go ahead, give it a try, okay? This one is a little trickier, okay? There's only one noun we're referring to here. I'll give that hint. Okay, I'm getting good answers. You guys are correct, okay? The blankets is the noun, okay? Blankets is the noun. Because you're not saying that the sister was soft and warm. There's only one sister, okay? But the blankets are the noun because you're saying they were soft and warm. If you said the blankets were soft and warm, that makes sense, right? So we can replace it with they, okay? Okay, but if we said the sister were soft and warm, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, okay? And finally, for the last one, the mechanic fixes the car. Then he puts his tools away. Which one is the noun and which one is the pronoun? Okay, which one is the noun? Which is the pronoun? Give it a try, okay? Okay, we'll have to wrap this one up, so I'll let you know. The mechanic is the noun, and there are actually two personal pronouns here, okay? We have he and we have his, okay? So we could say then the mechanic puts the mechanic's tools away. Okay, and that would actually work. But instead we use then he puts his tools away. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, thank you guys. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, we're done.